Nobody wishes to find themselves in a situation where they must resort to survival hacks against a nuclear attack. But considering the rising tensions worldwide, having some knowledge that could help in unexpected situations isn't a bad idea. Today's nuclear weapons are incredibly destructive, and if ever a nuclear war breaks out, the devastation will be profound, forever altering the world as we know it today. But instead of giving up and feeling hopeless, we must learn how to survive through such situations. It's incredible that people can survive nuclear attacks even when they're near the bomb's blast area. Take Tsutomu Yamaguchi, for example, a Japanese man who endured both the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings and lived to the age of 93. If you ever find yourself in such a situation, you'll experience the nuclear explosion in 6 stages. Stage 1. A flash of light. The first stage is characterized by an intense flash of light, which occurs almost instantaneously upon detonation. This flash is brighter than the sun and can cause temporary blindness if observed directly. Stage 2. A shockwave. Following the flash, a shockwave rapidly expands outward from the detonation point. This shockwave is responsible for the primary blast effects, including the destruction of buildings, infrastructure, and other objects in its path. Stage 3. A wave of heat. The intense heat generated by a nuclear explosion is another immediate effect. This heat wave travels with the shockwave and can cause severe burns, ignite fires, and damage or destroy flammable materials within its radius. Stage 4. Release of nuclear radiation. Ionizing radiation is released during a nuclear explosion, leading to short-term and long-term health risks. Immediate radiation exposure can cause radiation sickness, while long-term exposure can increase the risk of cancer and other health problems. Speaking of cancer, did you know there are some substances that causes cancer, but we still use them daily? Don't worry, to identify those substances, we'll provide the video link for you in the description below. Stage 5. Electromagnetic pulse, or EMP. In addition to the physical effects, a nuclear explosion also produces an electromagnetic pulse. This pulse can disrupt or damage electronic devices and infrastructure, including communication systems and power grids. Stage 6. The radioactive fallout. After the initial explosion, fallout can pose ongoing hazards to health and the environment. Fallout consists of radioactive particles that are carried by wind and can contaminate soil, water, and air over a wide area. All of these stages will occur very fast, in just a few seconds. But modern early warning systems will probably give you some time to react. If you hear about a nuclear attack and feel like leaving right away, think again. That could be a very bad idea. No matter what, don't run away. You probably don't know where it's safe to go, and you'll just make the roads really crowded. Plus, being in your car won't keep you safe from anything. So here are some life-saving tips that can help you survive in such a situation. Tip number 1. Stockpile supplies. If you're expecting such a scenario to happen, then it's wise to prepare by stockpiling essential supplies. Make sure you have plenty of bottled water on hand to last you and your family for at least a few days. Because in a crisis like this, staying hydrated is crucial. You never know how long you'll be holed up. Along with water, stock up on non-perishable food, medications, first aid supplies, and any other essentials you might need. Think canned goods, granola bars, and peanut butter, stuff that doesn't need cooking or refrigeration. Tip number 2. Get indoors fast. In the event of a nuclear explosion, being indoors offers the best chance of immediate safety. As emergency broadcasts sound the alarm, stay put and away from windows, anticipating potential falling objects. If caught outdoors, witnessing the explosion firsthand demands swift action. Lie face down to shield exposed skin from the intense heat and flying debris, and don't look directly at the flash or fireball to avoid the risk of blindness. Seek refuge indoors as soon as the shockwave subsides. There's a crucial moment after the detonation that allows a brief window of approximately 10 minutes to seek better shelter before nuclear fallout descends from the atmosphere. These tiny radioactive particles pose a silent yet deadly threat, emphasizing the importance of finding adequate shelter. Covering your mouth and nose with a mask or cloth while outside may mitigate inhalation of harmful particles. Tip number 3. Find the safest spot. When seeking shelter from a nuclear explosion, finding the safest option is crucial. Underground shelters like basements or subways offer good protection from the blast and fallout. Buildings made of strong materials like concrete or bricks can also help, especially if you're in a room without windows. Think about where you are and what options you have to pick the best shelter possible. The further you are from the blast and the stronger your shelter, the safer you'll be. Tip number 4, take your clothes off. Once you've found a suitable shelter after a nuclear explosion, the danger isn't over. If you were outside during the explosion and the shock wave, you might have radioactive particles on your clothes. These particles emit radiation and can be harmful to you and others. When you're indoors, carefully take off your outer clothing, making sure not to shake off any dust. Avoid touching your mouth, nose, or eyes while removing clothes. This can remove up to 90% of radioactive materials and reduce the risk of skin irritation or burns. If you have water and soap, wash your skin and hair to remove any remaining particles. If water is limited, use a clean wet cloth instead. Remember, hand sanitizer doesn't protect against radioactive particles. Tip number 5, seal the cracks. Radiation can seep through even the tiniest of cracks. Use duct tape, towels, or any available material to seal off doors, windows, and vents. The goal is to keep that radioactive stuff out of your safe space. Tip number 6, listen up. Tune in to a battery-powered radio for updates and instructions from emergency services. Don't leave your shelter until authorities give the all clear. They'll provide vital information on evacuation routes, safe zones, and when it's safe to emerge from your shelter. Tip number 7, check for contamination. After the all clear is given, cautiously venture outside and check for signs of contamination. If you see any unusual dust or debris, avoid it and report it to authorities immediately. Tip number 8, seek medical help. If you or anyone in your group starts feeling sick or showing symptoms of radiation exposure, seek medical attention right away. Don't wait. Early treatment can make all the difference in recovery. While nuclear devastation is unimaginable, timely preparation and wise reactions are crucial. Identifying safe shelter locations and stockpiling essential supplies in advance give you an edge and significantly increase your chances of survival in a nuclear attack. Well, if such an event occurs, that would be the worst year to be alive. But did you know there are some worst years that have already passed in history? Click the video shown on your screen to know about those years. And do share your thoughts on the likelihood of such an event and your preparedness in the comments below. If we managed to keep you hooked till now, give us a thumbs up and give that subscribe button a tickle for more insights, tips, and the coolest content. Until next time, stay connected and stay mindful. This is the Yays and Nays, signing off for today.